Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today we're making steak and eggs. My husband requested that I make him steak and eggs, so that's what I did. So you're gonna need some potatoes, any color bell pepper that you want, red, green, yellow, doesn't matter. Some garlic and some seasoning, but I'll show you the seasonings later on in the video. So what you're gonna do is first you're gonna start off by cutting the potato in half. Then you're gonna cut it in half again, and then you're gonna cut it into cube pieces. And then if it has some of those black spots like this one here, you'll just cut that off and use the rest of the potato. Doesn't really matter how big you chop it. It just depends on what you like. You can cut it in bite-sized pieces. You can cut it in chunks. You can do it like in half and in half. Doesn't really matter. Whatever you're feeling that day. It just depends how I'm feeling. Today I was feeling like some cute. This pepper here, I thought I had washed it, but apparently I didn't. So I went to go wash it, and then I was trying to show you this little bad part here, but then I ended up cutting it and it was all bad. So I was trying to remember if I had another one, and then I remembered I did. So I washed this one off camera, and then you're gonna cut the bell pepper in half. There I thought I saw something on my knife, so I was trying to wipe it off. You're gonna cut it in half, then cut it in half again. And then you're going to cut out the stem and the little white part. I don't really know what that's called. I think it's called like a pit. I could be wrong. But you're going to cut that off. Get the seeds out because I just don't like the seeds in there. You can leave them in there if that's what you like to do. It's your preference. It's whatever you like. Then after you cut them off, after you cut out the stem and the white part, then you're going to want to cut the slice in half. And then cut that into about 6 pieces. So in half, and then 1, 2, 3, which means 6. Because there's 2 pieces. Again, you can cut it however you want to cut it. That's just the way I decided to cut it. But again, it's however you want to do it. Alright, then after you cut it all up, then you're going to get some garlic. I got this from the Dollar Tree. You can get it from Walmart. You can get it from Target. Wherever you choose, it's all the same in my opinion. But that's up to you. So I'm going to bring the bowl over. You're going to put 2 tablespoons. The spoon I have is a tablespoon, so you're gonna put 2 of those inside the bowl with the potatoes and the peppers. Just 2. That's it. And then I did some clicking of the bowl because I like to use everything. Alright, then you're gonna close it back up. And then you're gonna use some garlic and sea salt. You don't have to use this. This is just what I bought from Big Lots the other day, and it turned out tasting pretty good, so I added in there. And I know it looks like a lot, but it's really not. I couldn't get the thing to turn how I wanted it to, so it looks like I put a whole lot, but I really didn't. I put like a tablespoon in there. Alright, next you're going to put in some black pepper. This is going to be freshly ground black pepper. I got that little thing from Walmart. It was like $4. You don't have to use freshly ground. That's just what I like to use. You can use the kind that's already, done. Then we're going to use some garlic olive oil. I made this oil myself. If you would like me to show you how I made it, I can make another video. You put about 2 tablespoons of that inside the bowl. Then after you get done with the olive oil, then you're going to... I was trying to move the camera, y'all, so y'all could see. But this is my first video, so it's not the best in the world. But then you're going to mix it up with your hands. You can mix it up with your hands, gloves, whatever you want to do. However you're feeling. Doesn't really matter. You're just going to mix it till everything's coated. Then after that, you're going to want to wash your hands, because that's what I did next, because it's real sticky or greasy. Then you're going to get a pan. Yes, my pan is washed. It just looks like that. You're going to put it on the pan. You're going to spread it out in one even layer. Get the excess out, because I always use everything out of my bowl. You got to use everything. Don't waste nothing. You're going to put it in the oven at 375 for about an hour. Okay. Next, here come my steaks. These are T-bone steaks. I got this from my local grocery store. You can go to a butcher, whatever you choose. I'm going to put some more of the garlic sea salt on there. Again, this kind of looks like a lot, but the thing wasn't turning how I wanted it to turn. So I think my hands were still a little greasy from before. Then you're going to use some pink salt, just a little bit. It's not much, just like a little pinch. You're going to spread it evenly on each side. Use some black pepper. Again, this is freshly ground. You can use whatever kind you want. The little paste, the little pepper in the can. There was a piece of fat. I didn't like how it was looking. But you're going to do that to both sides. So I'll repeat it on this side. The garlic salt. Then I'm going to put pink salt and a little black pepper. And I know it sounds like a lot of salt, but there's extra stuff in there. So it's fine, girl. Don't even worry about it. Alright, y'all, so what you're gonna see me do next is this is like some vegetable seasoning. It doesn't have any salt in it. So pretty much what I'm gonna do is make a crust for the outside of the steak. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna put some seasoning down and then just pat the steak in on the sides. So just a little dabby dab like that. That's it. So you just gonna look at it. Well, you see I'm looking at it because I'm trying to make sure it went on there right. But you're just gonna dab it in there. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to look uniform. You just want a little, crust on there, a little seasoning, because the outside of the steak can sometimes not have no seasoning because people tend to forget to season that part. So I'm gonna do that to this one, and then you're gonna see me do it to the next one. Alright, y'all, so next you're going to want to get you a cast iron skillet, and you're going to get another skillet on the side for your Brussels sprouts. So I already have put some of my garlic butter that I made myself in there, and you can use frozen Brussels sprouts, you can use fresh ones. I just had frozen ones at the time. I try to get everything fresh, but sometimes I'm a little lazy. Just going to put it in the butter, saute it. Here you see I have some grapeseed oil. You're going to want to just cover the bottom of the pan with the grapeseed oil. At first I thought I was just going to put a little bit, and then I was like, nah, I'm going to cover the whole thing. So you're just going to cover the whole pan with grapeseed oil. You want this to get hot, because if you don't, then it's kind of going to be like you're boiling the steak, and you don't want that. That's going to be nasty. So here I'm stirring the Brussels sprouts, trying to make sure that they don't burn, because I have my heat up a little high. I was trying to multitask, and as you see, I had to turn it down. So now that my skillet is hot, you're gonna see I put my hand there so I feel a little heat. You're gonna place the steak in there. You should hear a little sizzle, and then just let it ride. It's gonna sit there. I say let it sit on there for about, I'd say 2 or 3 minutes each side. Alright, here guys, you're gonna see me grab this skillet because I was trying to tilt it down, because for some reason my pan wasn't sitting right on the eye. So if it's not, you can always tilt it down. That way it can kind of sear on evenly. Alright, so next I'm adding a little bit of thyme. I forgot to do it when I was seasoning the steak before. So you can always add it second. I know I see Gordon Ramsay do it sometimes. Most of the time he has like a whole thyme leaf in there with like a half of garlic and all that stuff, but I ain't have time for that today. So I just sprinkle a little bit of thyme on the top, and then when I flip it over, it'll go ahead and cook into the steak. Here you're gonna see me grab my fish spatula. I love this spatula. It's the best spatula in my opinion. You can get it from Walmart for like $6, but I absolutely love it. But you're gonna see me stir up the Brussels sprouts again, just to make sure they aren't burning or sticking or anything like that. I did put a lid on it. I forgot to tell y'all guys that part. Also, you'll see with Brussels sprouts sometimes the butter cooks out. So you got a little bit of olive oil in there just to give it a little more, oil, so it'll keep on frying or steaming is what it's pretty much doing. And then here you're gonna see me flip over the steak, but I dropped it because it was hot under there. So I said, well, let me try to do something else. But here you're gonna see me flip it over with my fish spatula, and then that part was kind of sticking up a little bit, so I just held it down to try to make it cook evenly. Alright guys, so here you're going to see me show you the Brussels sprouts. This is what you want them to look like. They just have like a little saute on either side. Some of them don't, some of them do. You just want to make sure they're getting soft. That way when you bite into them, they're not still frozen or hard or anything like that. Alright guys, so here I'm just letting the steak saute on this side for 2 minutes. It just depends on what kind of color. You don't want it to get too brown or too burnt. As you see there, I just lifted up, looked under there to see if I liked the way the color was, and then flipped it over again. So that's all you have to do. Alright guys, so here I put the second steak in there. You're going to do the same thing that you did to the first one. Put it on either side for 2 minutes. You're going to wait, lift it up, see if you like the color. Flip it over and let it cook on that side for 2 minutes, and then put it on a paper towel to drain.
Take Diesel Beats.
Alright guys, after I flipped this one up, it wanted to like point it at the edge, so I just held down with the spatula. And then I saw that the grease or oil had kind of cooked out. So you can just keep adding oil as you need it so that your steak doesn't stick. Alright, so here are the potatoes after they've been in the oven for about an hour. I'm going to put them on the side. The next thing we're going to do is put you about a tablespoon of butter into another skillet, saucepan, whatever you like to call it. You're going to swirl it around in there, let it melt, you know, just until it's almost melted. It doesn't have to be fully melted. Then you're going to crack open however many eggs you want. In this case, I did 3, 2 for me. 2 for my husband and 1 for me. And then you're just going to let them sit there until they start bubbling and get white underneath. You can do them sunny side up. That kind of grossed me out a little bit. So I chose to flip mine over. You'll see it later on in the video. Alright guys, so as you can see, the eggs are frying. You can see like the bubbles on the side. So here I'm just separating them into 3 separate eggs because they kind of all ran together into like one big mash of eggs. But I want them separate, so when I put them on the plate, I can separate them. So y'all just cut them with my spatula. These are all safe spatulas for like ceramic pans, because if you use a metal one, they'll scratch. Then here you're going to see I use some more of my garlic sea salt, because again, I absolutely love it. Came from Big Lots, it's only $3. And then I put some parsley on here just to give it like a little razzle dazzle. You can leave that out if you want to. It's totally up to you. And then you're going to see here I flipped it over because again, the raw yolk on top kind of just grossed me out a little bit. So I just flipped it over. When you flip it, just be easy so that you don't break the actual yolk. I didn't want it to be like a fried egg per se, but it kind of ended up being like one anyway. But it still turned out really pretty. Alright guys, so then I let it fry for like another minute. Then I kind of used my spatula to see if it would lift up by itself. And then once it did, then I just flipped it back over, pressed it a little bit. And then I took it out and put it on a napkin just to drain any excess oil, because I don't like greasy stuff. So usually I always put everything on a paper towel just to make sure I get the excess oil off. Hey guys, here's the finished product. We have steak and eggs, roasted potatoes, and Brussels sprouts. I hope you liked this video. If you did, can you give it a thumbs up? Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be back with another video pretty soon.